Okay, here we got iPhone 6, screen shattered. What I'm gonna do is replace this screen here. First we want to take out the two bottom screws under here. Set those aside. And then what you want to do is you've got this handy tool here that will get down in the crack and you're able to pop the screen up with it, just like that. Kind of give it a wiggle, pull it out, because there's clips that go into the phone frame. You want to wiggle those out. So you can then fold it up like this and take a Phillips head. You want to take out these 5 screws here to be able to unhook the cables. Always remember where you're placing the screws, because some screws are a little bit different in size. So I always put them in the pattern that they come out, so I remember where they go. It's helpful to have a little bit of a magnetic tip on your screwdriver for these screws, just to get them in and out easier. And then I'll take a little plastic tool here to pop these ribbon cables off. Now you've got the screen removed. Now you don't need anything more with the body of the phone. Most of the work now is going to be removing parts from this cracked screen and putting them on the new screen here. So I usually like to start from the bottom. Take this piece, thumb scanner off. There's a little circuit board plug here that you want to kind of dig your pinky nail under, or you can use a little flat tool and pop that up. And then I like to take a very small flat blade and kind of get under that, because it's glued down. Get under that. Be sure not to push too hard. You don't want to dig into the circuitry. So now that that's unhooked there, we can go ahead and I just push on the fingerprint scanner to pop it off there. So now that's removed. One thing you also want to remove is it's glued right here, holding that little plug down. And that's the plug that runs up to the top and then onto the motherboard for the finger scanner. So I take my flat blade again and dig under there carefully. Get that glue unstuck. You don't want to break that cable, it's very fragile. And then I like to work my way down the sides of this, holding this metal bracket in place. There's 6 screws total, 3 on each side. Go ahead and do that here. Again, I just place them to the side in the same pattern, so putting the screws back where they belong. Alright, got those 6 out, and there's one more holding this metal plate in up here. But it's also, there's 2 others that are holding the bracket that holds the earpiece and all those goodies in place. Get those other two out. And there's the camera. I'm gonna pop this metal bracket off now that we're done there. Set that to the side. We can pop the microphone and stuff out. Set that aside. And then we just need to get this cabling unhooked. I like to take my flat blade screwdriver again, dig under here. Be careful just to kind of slowly work it off. So that stuff comes in stuck, and then there's one more piece to this, and it's right under here. See that little goldish piece of circuitry? You dig right under that. It's just glued down. You pop that out, and then that whole cabling comes out. Now on some replacement screens, they won't come with, there's this little plastic piece here and plastic piece here, and then this, it's the screen and mic holder. Some replacements kits don't come with that. The one I bought in particular does. I recommend doing it, then you don't have to swap those pieces out. So I recommend getting a replacement screen like that. So see that plastic, the mic piece, and the other sensor piece is the brackets that hold those items in place are already there. Makes it a little easier for the transition of parts. On the new screen, you'll want to take this protective piece off. It's just garbage after that. We're done with the old screen. Now we're going to start putting the new pieces on. There is a little plastic piece covering the adhesive there, so you want to get that out of the way. Well, and what we'll do is start placing the parts. I like to get this in place. The way I line this up is there's a little notch in that little hole right there, and there's a little hole it goes into on the screen to get it lined up just right where it needs to go. So that's where I start. Press that down, make sure it's adhering well to the new adhesive there, and then I'll get the sensors in place next. Up here, make sure they're going in there properly. There we go. And I'll grab the microphone. Get that so it goes in the camera. They all go in their specific spots. And then get this metal bracket. Now this is the tricky part. This cable, so this cable actually needs to be on the top of the stack of cables here. So you have to make sure the fingerprint scan that comes off this piece of metal goes under that. And then you can get this piece of metal in place. get that bracket in place. Check one more time, make sure everything goes together nicely. Everything's making contact up there. There's 4 spring contacts in there that you need to make sure compress properly when putting that back together. So I like to work up there first. Snug those two that are holding that bracket into place. Just double check again, it's looking good. Make sure the camera showing fine. Snug those up a little more, nice and tight. Then I'll just work my way down on each side and get the bracket back in place. There's those 3. Go to the other side. Alright, there's those. Now we can work on the bottom. You want to make sure you get that back. There's a little plastic piece that needs to lock in behind, and I just like to press down on that, make sure the glue's sticking there. We'll get the thumb scanner back in. Make sure those holes line up. Stick that back down. Make sure that cabling goes back together. I like to take my flat blade screwdriver and just kind of go around, press on that adhesive that holds that button in place. Some re-stick better than others. This one looks like the adhesive is kind of already been unstuck. Sometimes thumb finger grease leaks through the sides and that doesn't work. That adhesive doesn't work well anymore, but it's okay. Alright, then we'll put this last bracket screw in, and we'll get the thumb scanner bracket. Put that in place. Get those 2 screws in there. Snug. Okay, now we're ready to get the screen back on the body. These cables are sometimes tricky to get lined up. You can here we go. We'll get this bracket back in. Get those 5 screws going. Another trick I tend to do is not snug all of these too tight till I get all the screws in, just so the bracket has room to slide into place where it needs to be a little better. And once they're all in here, last one, snug it up a little bit more here. And I don't like to put it all the way together before I test it, just to make sure the screen will come on. There we have it. It's on. So now what you want to do is make sure you tilt the top so those two clips at the top are in. You want to slowly work your way down each side, clipping it in, not pressing too hard. And then put the bottom screws in. Snug those up. Make sure things are working everywhere. There's a protective film on this so you don't scratch up the screen while you're working on it. I like to keep that on till we get it back to the client. Make sure thumb scanner works, home button works, which it does, and we're good to go. If you have any questions or comments, let me know. Thanks for watching.